So we have Eric here from Nomad on Fire podcast.
Yeah.
And he's all about this stuff. So this is a video about how to escape college debt. Is this even possible? How do you escape college debt? Because a lot of people have college debt. It's a huge crisis. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do to make this situation the best possible. And because the whole thing about college debt is you can't go bankrupt. You know, it's inexcusable. It's the one type of debt that will never be erased or whatever if you go bankrupt. But anyways, how do you escape debt? You know, big picture, guys, is you got to pay it off. And so here are some tips to quote unquote escape college debt. I'll just go out over the outline and then we'll get into it. So we have reduce expenses, obviously refinance loans, increase job income, increase side income. And then after that, we'll talk about how to avoid college debt. Let's say you haven't gone into it yet. So we have some alternative education options to avoid college loans. And then a section on how to avoid college debt in the first place at the end of this. So if you haven't gone down that, or someone who hasn't gone into the college debt thing yet, maybe share that part with them. So before we get into reduce expenses, finance loans, increase your income, you know, the obvious stuff, you got to start with your mindset first around money and how you think about this.
For sure. So
Eric is all about this stuff. What would you say to someone around that?
Yeah, I think the first thing in terms of finances is you really have to start with the mindset, like you said, right? Are you buying shoes or clothes or an expensive car? Is that really important to you? Does that match your values, or is that to impress people, right? And then on the flip side, one thing I used to do when I was working and saving at my job, nice cars are cool, right? I would look at BMWs, Lexus on Auto Trader, but then I thought to myself, wait, how long could I live in Thailand for with this money? And that was so much more powerful to me, because I'd rather have control, freedom, flexibility, be able to control my life and design it how I want. And that's more important to me than any, fancy, extravagant material object.
Got it. So yeah, really do, this goes along with point number one, reduce expenses. Mm-hmm. Really do a soul search and really think inside yourself, take some mushrooms or whatever, do some ayahuasca, whatever, do some therapy with, some psychedelics involved or not. But you really go inside your heart and think about how much the fancy things, how much do I really value that? And is it because I value it, or is it a society / social status stuff? So with those big fancy cars, and luxury stuff. So number one, reduce expenses. Do an audit and cut out all unnecessary money flowing out, and sell anything you don't need. So I think you guys already know that. Maybe you can sell your car. Maybe you can, reduce expenses. All the ways you can do that. And on the previous podcast, we talk about, where you sleep, your car payment, and food are the biggest things. So think about how to cut down on those things, obvious stuff. Number two, refinance loans. This goes along with reducing your outflow. So we want to reduce outflow, increase inflow. So look into refinance loans. So that is something that exists. It's basically changing your setup, refinancing to get a lower monthly payment on your college loans. So number three, increase income. So do an audit. Can you ask for a promotion, switch positions, re-strategize your sales game, or maybe you can switch to a higher paying job? So think about your current income and think about different ways to increase that. Yeah, any thoughts about that?
Yeah, so we were talking about in the last podcast, right? I mean, personal finance 101 is very simple, right? You want to find a way to earn more money, and then you want to reduce your expenses, and then that gap, can either be used to pay off college debt, and then once the debt is paid off, you're debt free, then you're used to already having that money go towards the debt. You're not going to miss it, right? It immediately goes towards investments or it goes into your business, so you can then build wealth and grow. So I think you mentioned it on the reduce expenses side. We were talking about it a little bit ago, the big three, right? So 62% of Americans, of all Americans, 62% of their spending goes to housing, transportation, and food. So there's the big three. So housing, can you get a roommate, right? I know you talked about that. That was a big thing that helped you out, not just in terms of money saving, but if they're on the same wavelength as you, you can bounce ideas off of them. Yeah. They're going to really help you out. Transportation, right? Do you need a new car? Could you have a used car? Could you get away with no car? Could you bike to work? Could you move into a smaller apartment that maybe you could walk to work or take the public transportation? Food obviously is pretty straightforward, right? You want to eat healthy things at home. On the increased income side, so I think it's either, is there a way for me to get promoted at my company? Do I see a way that I can move up? Or I know a lot of people in the personal finance space that have been really successful by job hopping and looking for other opportunities. I personally was with the same company for 7 years, right after college until last August, and then I quit. So I can't speak to the job hopping so much. But in terms of getting promoted, the one piece of advice I'll give is like make it known what you want and ask for what you want. So I'll throw it out there. I read this book. It's called Life in Half a Second. I forget the author. I apologize. But it's a pretty short but really like powerful book. Like I would put it up there with 4-Hour Workweek. It's really important for your mindset. But he talks about goal trees, and there's even a little template on his site. I went to my boss in 2015. At the end of 2015, I was like, hey, I'm an area manager right now. I want to be an operations manager. I want to be the next level up. I went to him and I was like, hey, these are my thoughts. Like, this is my end goal. These are the things I'm going to focus on, which I think are going to get me there. Like, what do you think? And that was so powerful.
Money, yeah.
Because it showed him like, hey, holy shit, this guy's motivated. Like, he knows what he wants and he has a plan. And then he can also give his input. Oh no, I would tweak that a little bit because I think that'll be more powerful. So those are my tips on that part.
Yeah, get that book, guys. Boom, that's genius. Okay, so and then number 4, I had increase your side income. So look into another source of income, side hustles, freelancing, tutoring, dog walking, babysitting, Uber. So yeah, guys, you have this free time. We all have this X amount of free time, mostly nights and weekends. So, there's that time, guys. And, some people, maybe they have baby to take care of, that's another thing. But if you have all this free time, that's opportunity to make more money and start chipping away at that debt, or just even if you don't have debt, start making more money to invest it in your business to where you can get free from your job. And so obviously we're big side hustle guys. We're entrepreneurs, digital nomads, remote entrepreneurs. So I'm just going to give you my spiel on the side hustle. All right. So I have three numbers here, 3 subpoints, 3 categories, I guess: online businesses, freelance, and long-term passion business. So I think long-term, obviously everyone wants a long-term passion business, but in the shorter term, you can start your own small online business, or you can start freelancing online. So we're digital entrepreneurs. I'm going to give you the spiel. So online businesses such as an Amazon private label business, a drop shipping site, a Kindle/Audible audiobooks business, a social media marketing agency, which is kind of ties in with freelancing, but doing social media marketing management for influencers, companies, brands, or their Facebook ads, or run their Pinterest, or run these digital platforms. Big thing that millennials can do for companies and other people. I would say all of these take a good 6 months plus to be making maybe your first 1K consistent profit. But you can do that I know so many nomads and digital laptop people that within 6 months, they're making a consistent $1,000 a month, at least on their side hustle. Category number 2 is freelancing. I know many who have made their first 1K in 90 days, especially if you can write. So obviously, if you're in America, you can write good. You can write good. Tons of companies, authors, podcasters, even myself, we're looking for good writers. And you can write blog articles, you can write product reviews, you can write Amazon listings, you can write Shopify sites, you can write straight up write ebooks for people. And if you're Western, then you can write better than most people in the world, obviously. And so you can get good paying jobs doing writing gigs. Create an Upwork.com account. And a freeup.com account, links below. That's another big one to get jobs. You build up your profile. You can also post on IG, Facebook, and LinkedIn that you are now an agency offering creative writing services or copywriting services, and you'd be surprised at how many people on your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram will give you referrals and or need those services. So writing is just one big common example, but it may be doing graphic design. You can do simple stuff on Canva all the way up to complicated Photoshop stuff. It can be translation if you know another language. It can be video editing, podcast editing. All these digital things, you can totally create a freelance side hustle. No excuse to not do that. And then if you want to keep this going for more long term, you can transition this into a digital marketing agency where it's essentially freelancing, but you divvy the jobs to other freelancers for like half the price. And these other freelancers may be like in India or Philippines or somewhere else in the world where it's cheaper. And that's another business model in itself to kind of help you scale so you're not trading so much time for the money. And then category number 3, long-term passion business. So I would say start a blog around your passion and or expertise. Write a blog post at least once per week. Create IG, YouTube, and Pinterest pages around it and post once per week. Build traffic over 2 to 5 years and monetize through ad networks, reviewing products for affiliate commissions, and or making your own info products that your audience asks for, such as ebooks and video courses. That's the blogger business. That's what you're doing. That's
Absolutely.
what I'm doing, kind of doing. A half-hearted job about it. But yeah, create a blog on the side and write about what you're passionate about. It's not going to make you money, the first couple years, most likely. But like 3 years from now, 5 years from now, that could be a blog that's getting traffic, and now you can monetize that. Now that is not only another income source. Let's say it just makes $500 a month or $1,000 a month. That's great because you already like talking about that subject. So boom. Okay. So there's the side hustle income spiel. And if you're wondering about online businesses, as we said, you asked me in the last podcast, if someone wants to get into online business, what should you do? Mm-hmm. I should have made this course 3 years ago because you guys asked me on my channel and Facebook and Instagram comments, Riley, what should I do? So I finally made a digital nomad / online business beginners course. It explains the top 10 most common small online business models that digital nomads do, the remote workers do, such as Amazon FBA, dropshipping, Kindle, social media marketing agency, online courses. I explain how those work, simply the upfront money investment, the time investment, realistic time to start making full-time income, and who's it for, who's it not for, pros and cons of all those. So I kind of made this big picture beginners thing. If that's you want to choose an online business model that you can do from your laptop, because hey, every city has Starbucks. There's no excuse not in the nighttime. Go to Starbucks, get in the habit of getting some tea, some coffee, and working on your laptop. You can make money from this thing. This is a money generating machine. Yeah, so there you guys go. Yeah, thoughts on the side income thing?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of back to like balancing the job with the side income. Like I think there's no like one size fits all piece of advice because it depends what industry you're in. It depends how much money you're making in your job. Like if you see you could job hop and make more money, you instantly make 10, 20K more, like you might as well do that before you start getting into the side hustle. But if you don't see like promotion or job hopping, any like real other options in your industry, then I would definitely look into the side hustling. I think you explained it great. Like I've been blogging for like 6 or 7 months now. I haven't made any money, but I'm passionate about it and I really enjoy it. So I would not, and a lot of people say this, right? I would not get into blogging if your number one goal is to make money. If you want to make fast cash, I would say if you have them already, or learn those digital skills and do freelancing on Upwork. You're going to instantly be able to make a few $100s up to $1,000 a month pretty quickly doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Especially with the writing thing.
For sure.
I have resources below. I know some nomads that I've done podcasts with who specialize in how to make high ticket, like 1K plus jobs, regularly doing writing jobs. And Evan, who I did a podcast yesterday, he's a sales copywriter, and he makes like 5K projects, like doing copywriting for businesses and entrepreneurs. Okay, so yeah, that was the spiel on how to escape college debt, kind of reduce expenses, increase income to pay that off, because there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Other than avoid it in the first place.
Yep.
So let's do how to avoid college debt. So if you found this video, you're looking at college alternatives or a way to get free education or something like that, let me know in the comments how you found this video. But I made these notes because I get asked this question a lot. I'm a full-blown education revolution guy, and I have a blog post called College Alternatives. It was really cool. This 21-year-old, he reached out. I got him on my podcast. He dropped out after his sophomore year, and he came out and did a couple months Southeast Asia backpacking trip, and I actually met him in person in Bangkok. It was so cool. Anyways, here's the spiel. Well, it comes down to don't take college loans. You can either pay cash or don't go to college. Luckily, if the former isn't an option, there are more alternative education options now than ever before. We'll get into alternative options in a second. But if you have to go to college, first of all, in parentheses, why? Because of your parents? If so, you should dive deep and question that and focus on what you want. It's your life and you are in control, not your parents or grandparents. So that's a huge, big, what are your values thing. But if you have to go to college, you can go to a less expensive one. So number one, a 2-year community college, which are less expensive than a big university. Number two, you can do a trade school, 2-year trade school, which are less expensive than uni and potentially more equipping you better for your trade if you know and you are sure what trade you want to go into. Asterisk, do a job shadow first so you know what trade you want to get into. For example, if you want to be a car mechanic, don't just sign up for the expensive trade school. Go do a job shadow or just go hang around the mechanic shop to make sure you want to get all oily and you want that to be your day-to-day life, week after week, month after month, year after year. Same thing. I did a biochemistry degree in college, and it was only until my junior year I realized, oh wait, I don't want to wear a white lab coat and like be in this white box squirting pipettes, like basically being a lab rat, doing recipes for pharmaceutical conglomerates. Like, crap. So even if you are going to go to college and you're like totally want to do it, I say this to everyone: do a job shadow before you choose your major, because you don't know what it's like day to day. People just sign up for their major, like just check a little box like in the pamphlet. Like I remember going through looking at science majors that interest me. Oh, genetics and cell biology, that's interesting, cool, check. Write the check, my parents, $100,000. Jeez. And it's like, it's so crazy, right? When you look at it from this perspective, it's like so expensive, and like you were getting these 18-year-olds to just like check a box and sign up for this huge education thing.
Yeah.
And if it were free, it's another thing, but it's just debt. So you got to really make sure it's what you want. And I'm telling you, it's probably not. It's just, a lot of entrepreneurs, most would say, it's just a bad deal. And it's even becoming a mainstream conversation these days. College is getting so much more expensive. There's a huge college debt crisis. So yeah, guys, those are my college alternatives. First of all, you don't have to go to college. There are alternative educations. And aside from the community college or the 2-year trade school, there are specialized online courses and specialized online schools. For example, I have my own Amazon selling school. My buddy Matt Laker, he has his own school around how to start a digital marketing agency and scale it to 6 figures. There are blogging schools, like you go to this one, VIP Income, whatever it is, and for a fraction of the cost of college, you're learning in-demand digital skills that not only within like a year or a couple years you can make full-time income, like a few grand a month consistently, but you'll never need a job, and you can do them from wherever, from your laptop. So if you have dreams of travel, which I'm going to assume you do, because 90% of people have dreams of travel in their life, most of us just put it off until they're retired, you can go get travel and live abroad experiences while you run your business, aka be a remotepreneur, digital nomad, which is what our podcasts are about. So I have my beginner's course about this. It's on my website, livingthatlife.com. I explain all the different online business models that you can do and recommend online courses that specialize in these business models that you can enroll in, from all the way from $100 to $500 to $1,000 to $5,000. But you're gonna avoid so much debt if you do that compared to $50,000 or $100,000. So that's how you avoid college debt. Check my articles, link below. I have a whole article on college alternatives and this whole education revolution, and I'm all about it. I'm so passionate about this because a $600 course changed the course of my life. It was about e-commerce and selling online, which is what I do now. I run my Amazon business full-time for the past 5 years. I can work from anywhere, wake up when I want. I don't need a job, because I realized that the dream job is to not have a job, guys. But they don't tell you that in high school, but it is an option. And if you're listening to this, you're already ambitious. I can already tell that. So share this with a friend, I guess. And I'm not saying that like you shouldn't go to college if that's totally what you want to do, but I'm going to assume something about you, and that's that like you're totally not gung-ho about college. You're like, maybe college isn't for you. Maybe it isn't for me. I'm not sure about college. And I would say, if you think it's not for you and you're not sure about it, then don't. At the very least, just like tell your parents or whatever, I'm just going to take a gap year. By the way, show them all the articles. Australia and Europe, they do a gap year before college. So just tell everyone, I'm going to take some time off. I'm not ready to commit to that debt yet. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm just going to work for a little bit and just take a break. I just did 18 years of school. I'm not ready to do some more. Anyways, guys, that's my spiel. All right, I'll pass off to you. There's my rant.
No, I mean, I think you pretty much, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the biggest thing is like, do the dreamlining. Like, think about what is my ideal life? Like, what am I working on? Who am I hanging out with? How am I spending my time? What part of the world? Where am I living? All that stuff, and then work backwards from there. And I kind of went a different route, right? Where I saved and invested all this money, and like then took the leap to start doing this. But yeah, you can learn these skills and immediately be location independent and not dependent on a job, right? So yeah, I think you pretty much you nailed it.
And whether you want to work remotely and travel a lot with your laptop and run your business that way, or just be able to work from home or work from the local co-working space, that's super valuable. I mean, no one likes to commute, right? Just be flexible, not only on where you work, but even actually more valuable is when you work. So your daily schedule, getting control of your daily time, getting that back after years and years of the school system, school at 8 a.m., lunch break, now you're done. Now you go home and do homework that you don't get paid for. Getting control of your time is, a lot of entrepreneurs will say, is the first step to like enlightenment, honestly. And I will go even further and say having a laptop location independent income is the first step to enlightenment, because it frees you of your time. Yeah, guys. Oh, and then I was also gonna say one thing about this. In my college alternatives blog post, I actually do have a section about dreamlining. Nice. And asking, it's a bunch of questions that I wish I was asked in high school. Like, what are my values? In my dream work situation, how much am I traveling and how often? Do I want international travel and experiences to be a part of my life? And it's basically getting you to realize, oh yeah, I do want to travel a lot, because everyone does. And then realizing that, oh yeah, it is possible while you're young. You don't need to wait until you're 65 retired to start traveling. This is 2020. There are so many options. The education paradigm is so different than our parents' generation, than our grandparents' generation. And about the parents thing, because so many people leave me comments and DMs, it's because of my parents. How do I deal with that? And I have videos about how to tell your parents, how to deal with your parents in my beginner's course, actually, because it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Overall, you just gotta come from the heart and say, like, Mom and Dad, first of all, I love you, right? And they'll say, yes. Okay, boom. Now we're on the same page. And I'll love you no matter what, right? And you'll love me no matter what, right? Okay, yes. So, we live in a different economy, and the college degree is just not worth what it used to be. And there's all these alternative education options. So I feel like it's not right for me at this time. So I'm going to be doing this alternative thing, whether it's gap year and just work, or I'm going to go do this internship right after high school. I'm not going to jump into college because I'm not sure it's the right deal for me. And especially if they're paying for your college, they'll be like, okay. And, so you're going to save all this money. I'm not sure it's the right deal. I'm going to avoid this debt, which is, I don't need this debt. It's not hard. Just communicate it in a real way. You don't need to blow their minds and say, I'm never going to college. Just make it easy on them. Say, like, I'm just going to take some time to make it easy on them. And then over time, as they see you succeed and you're doing fine, you're not going to die, you're not going to starve, then they'll slowly come around to it. But yeah, on my blog post, I have all these questions you should ask yourself that I wish I was asked in high school. Boom. That's how you avoid college debt.
Hell yeah.
All right, No Man on Fire. Check out his podcast. Living that life on all the things. And share this with a friend. Tweet this out. I don't know how many people this reaches, but I'm trying to reach more teenagers, especially the ambitious ones. So share this in your ambitious groups. All right, guys. Peace. Let me know. Boom. Living that life. We just living that life. Talking plus living that life. We just living that life. You're listening to the Living That Life Digital Nomad Podcast. Hit the subscribe button on iTunes if you're a boss. And check out the YouTube channel for dope travel videos.